Chapter 1. A Strange Message. Otto Lidenbrock is the famous professor of geology at the University of Hamburg in Germany. He is also my uncle. He is 65 years old, not very tall, with grey hair. He wears small, round gold glasses that make him look very serious. I'm Axel. I'm only 19 and the professor's personal assistant. I watch my uncle very carefully when he works. That's why I know so much about our planet, Earth. My uncle, the professor, is a hard worker. He spends most of his day in his laboratory at the university, so he never comes home before 2 o'clock for lunch. But yesterday, he came home very early. This surprised Martha, our cook. The poor old girl did not have her lunch ready, and she was a little upset.
Professor, you're early.
Never mind, Martha. I don't want lunch today.
But, Professor, you must eat.
The professor looked excited.
Martha, food is not important.
Then he turned to me.
Axel, come with me.
He took me into his library. It was a big room with lots of bookcases against the walls and heavy velvet curtains in front of the windows. In the middle of the room, there was a desk where my uncle spent most of his evenings. He took an old book out of his coat pocket. He looked at me.
Axel, look at this. Look at this.
I took it from his hand. Its cover was hard, and it looked very old. Why? What is it, Professor?
I found it today in an old bookshop. It's 700 years old.
What's it about?
It's about the old princes from Norway who came to live in Iceland.
Why is that so special? He smiled and said,
Because it is written in a language that no one uses anymore.
I opened the book and saw strange letters from a strange alphabet. I did not understand any of it. I turned its yellow pages, and a piece of paper fell out of the book onto the floor. The professor jumped on it.
What's this?
It was an old yellow piece of paper with the same strange letters on it. The professor knew many languages, but he could not read this old language from Iceland. He took a thick book from one of the shelves. It was a dictionary for all the old languages in the world which people do not speak today. Then he gave me a piece of paper and a pencil.
Axel, write down these letters as I read them to you.
The professor read each letter to me, and I wrote them down. When we finished, this is what they said.
Go into the volcano at Snæfellsjökull. Before the 1st of July, the sun will show you the way to the center of the earth. Make this journey. It is fantastic.
The name under this strange message was Arne Saknussemm.
Arne Saknussemm. I don't believe it.
Who's he?
He was a famous scientist. He wrote many strange things about the Earth, but no one believed him. They said he was crazy. This must be the answer to the things he said. He left this piece of paper in the old book for someone to find. Do you understand, Axel, how lucky we are?
Then he turned to the library door.
Martha!
I couldn't understand any of the things my uncle said. What do you mean, we? Martha opened the door to the library.
Did you want me, sir?
Yes, Martha. I want you to buy us 2 train tickets to Denmark. Master Axel and I are going to Iceland.
This was the biggest surprise of my life. What? Uncle, I can't go. The professor looked at me calmly.
You can, and you will.
Chapter 2. Grauben. There is a 17-year-old girl living in our town. I think she is the girl in Germany. She's got long blonde hair and bright blue eyes. Her name is Grauben, and we are in love. We want to get married. That's why I didn't want to go with my uncle on his mysterious trip. But he couldn't understand that.
Are you in love with Grauben?
Yes.
And you want to marry her?
Yes. The professor was silent. He was a good man, but he could not understand love because his only interest was science. He forgot what I said and began to talk about our journey.
Today is the 26th of May. We have 1 month to get to Sneffels. We're going to take the train to Denmark, and then we'll take a boat to Iceland. The whole trip is going to take 12 days. Then we have to walk to the volcano.
I could not listen to him any more. My heart felt heavy. The professor needed an assistant, and he did not want anyone else to know about this secret. But how could I leave my Grauben? I went for a walk through the beautiful city of Hamburg. I walked along the Elbe River, thinking of Grauben. I stopped for a moment to look at a fishing boat sailing on the calm water. Then I turned, and, like magic, she was there. Grauben, my Grauben, stood 20 feet away, looking at the river. Grauben! She looked like an angel. We ran into each other's arms and kissed.
Oh, Axel, I'm so excited.
She sounded very happy, but I couldn't understand why. Excited? Why are you excited, my love?
I was at your house. I heard about your journey. Isn't it wonderful?
For a moment, I felt sad. So, Grauben wanted me to go away from her. But Grauben, we want to get married. I don't know when I'm coming back. She looked at me lovingly and held my hand.
It doesn't matter. I'll still wait for you. Don't you understand? This is the kind of journey all great men must make. When you come back, you're going to be famous like your uncle. Then our life will be perfect together.
Do you really mean that? She touched my face and smiled.
Of course I do.
Oh, Grauben, you are the most wonderful girl in the world. Back at my uncle's house, I felt excited. Then I thought of something. Maybe this adventure was too dangerous. Maybe we wouldn't come back. I ran into the library where my uncle was. Uncle, is it possible that we won't come back from this journey? His answer didn't make me feel any better.
There's only one way to find out, Axel.
Chapter 3. Iceland. It was very early in the morning when the boat got to Iceland. We could see the round body of the Sneffelsjökull volcano going up into the sky through the clouds. It had snow near the top, and it looked like an angry monster waiting for someone to try and climb it. The boat stopped at Reykjavik. It was a small town with small brick houses. Mr. Fridriksson, a professor from the university there, met us at the boat. He looked very friendly and smiled when he saw us.
You must be Professor Lidenbrock.
And you must be Professor Fridriksson. This is my assistant, Axel.
We shook hands.
You got my letter, then?
Oh, yes, Professor, and everything is ready for you. Please come with me.
My uncle did not tell anyone the real reason for our journey. He wanted the two of us to be the only ones to travel to the center of the Earth. But we needed someone to go along with us, as we didn't know the area and the ice and snow around the volcano was too dangerous. So Mr. Fridriksson found us a guide. His name was Hans, and he looked perfect for the job. He was tall and very strong. He had small blue eyes and long red hair. He almost never smiled or spoke. Mr. Fridriksson introduced us.
Professor Lidenbrock. This is Hans. Hans, Professor Lidenbrock and his assistant Axel.
Hans moved his head just a little to say hello.
Hans is a very quiet man, like most Icelanders, but he is the strongest and best climber in Reykjavik.
My uncle smiled at Mr. Fridrikson's words.
He's just perfect, Mr. Fridrikson.
Mr. Fridrikson let us stay at his house until we were ready to leave. We needed many things for our adventure. We took 4 horses to travel to the mountain. The professor and I each rode one, but Hans walked. The other 2 horses carried our bags. We took a lot of things with us: rope for climbing, tools, lights, guns, medicine, and enough food for 6 months. The only problem was we could only carry enough water for 1 week. The professor believed there was water under the volcano, but what if there wasn't? We left Reykjavik on the 15th of June, early in the morning. We travelled along the sea, and it was a wonderful journey. The land had a dark colour from the explosions of the volcano, and the beautiful blue sea next to it made it look fantastic. The journey to Sneffels took us 6 days, and each day we stopped in a different village for the night. The villages were small and very pretty, built at the foot of the volcano, next to the sea. The villagers were very nice, but like Hans, they did not talk much. When we got closer to the top of Sneffels, I thought of something.
Uncle, what happens if the volcano explodes again?
No, that's impossible. This volcano had its last explosion in 1229. I checked the ground, it's impossible.
But it's not like...
Axel, I am a scientist. This is a fact. There is nothing more to say.
It was now 11 o'clock at night, and we were at the top. We stopped and found a small place inside the opening of the volcano where we could sleep. That night, I had a dream. I saw that I was alone inside the volcano. I was lost and very scared. Suddenly, the volcano exploded, and I was shot out of its top like a rock. Chapter 4. Inside the Volcano. The mouth of the volcano was 1 mile wide. We tied a rope around each other and began to climb down. Hans went first. The inside of the volcano looked like the inside of an ice cream cone. Its opening became smaller as we went down because of the rocks left there after explosions. The bottom of the volcano was 2,000 feet down. When we got there, I looked up and saw the opening at the top. It was a perfect circle of clear blue sky. There were 3 holes in the floor of the volcano. Each of them was about 100 feet wide. The explosion of rocks and hot lava once came through these holes and then out through the top. Now they looked like dark caves. I looked at the holes and then turned to my uncle.
Which one do we take?
I don't know. Arne Saknussemm said the sun touches one of them at the end of June. Today is June the 25th. It is too late to see the sun today. We must wait until tomorrow.
What if it's cloudy tomorrow?
Then we will wait again. But we only have 5 more days. In July, the sun is too low. It cannot reach the bottom of the volcano.
Then we can go home?
Axel, don't say such things. Tomorrow will be sunny, and we are going to the center of the earth.
The next day, it was cloudy. The professor could not believe it.
4 days. We only have 4 days. Please, please, sun, come out, come out!
The professor looked up at the sky with his arms open. The only thing he wanted now was to see the sunshine. I thought of Grauben and the danger waiting for my uncle and myself inside those holes. I hoped for rain. Hans built a small house from the large rocks he found on the floor of the volcano. He never said much, but he always thought of something useful to do. I checked the rock of the volcano walls to see how old they were. Drops of water from the ice and the snow outside ran down the wall, and the sound they made inside was like music. Suddenly, the professor called out my name.
Axel! Axel, come here!
I ran to him, curious to see what was there.
What is it?
Look at this!
There were 2 words on the wall of the volcano in the old Icelandic language.
What does it say?
Arne Saknussemm. He was here. We're in the right place!
The next day, the sun came out, and at 1:13 in the afternoon, it touched the hole in the center of the floor.
That's it! That's the hole to the center of the Earth! Let's go!
Hans brought our bags, but there was one problem. We could not carry all of them and climb down the hole at the same time.
What must we do now?
The professor took off his glasses and cleaned them while he tried to think of a solution.
Well, we'll throw everything we don't need down the hole, and we'll find it when we get to the bottom.
Hans threw the bags down the hole in front of us. We listened, but we never heard them hit the bottom. Chapter 5. Lost in the Tunnels. We put our rope through holes in the rocks on the sides of the walls, then climbed down. Hans went first, then my uncle, then me. Every 200 feet, we found a flat rock to stop on. We pulled the rope down from above us, tied it to a new rock, then started again. We did this for almost 10 hours. We traveled 2,000 feet down. Finally, Hans said something.
Stop!
It was only one word, but it was nice to finally hear his voice.
What happened?
We are at the bottom.
The professor and I looked at him.
Of what?
I don't know.
There was a turn in the hole. There was an open area like a cave at the bottom of the hole, which continued to the right. Our bags were there. After 10 hours of climbing down, we were very tired. We decided to spend the night there. In the morning, we continued our journey down. The hole now opened and looked more like a tunnel. We did not need to climb because we could walk down this tunnel. We used our torches so we could see the rock on the walls clearly. It looked like glass of different colors. Some of it was red, some was brown, and some was yellow. My uncle saw me looking at it.
That's from the lava.
It's beautiful.
So, you're starting to enjoy our journey. There's more to see. Come along.
We walked for 2 more days and we found other tunnels. There were tunnels everywhere, but we did not know which was the right one. Unluckily, our water finished.
Now what are we going to do?
We're going to find a spring. There are many, but we have to go down further.
I could not move. I was very tired and thirsty, and thinking of Grauben.
Uncle, I can't go on.
Axel, please. We are going to find water.
Water!
It was Hans's voice.
What did you say?
Water!
There was a loud sound behind the wall next to us. It sounded like the water of a river. Hans took a pickaxe and made a hole in the wall. Water came out onto the floor around us.
I told you, Axel! Water! Ow! It's hot! Don't touch it, it needs air! We're too far underground!
The water was cold enough to drink after a few minutes, and we all felt strong again. We continued our journey, but I made a serious mistake. I was very excited about finding the water, and I went first. I walked too far in front of the others, and I got lost. I tried to go back, but I could not find them. I shouted their names.
Uncle! Hans! Uncle!
I could only hear my own voice in the tunnel. I was afraid. I ran. Then I fell. I fell through the air down a long tunnel. Then I hit my head, and everything went black around me. Chapter